my name is Alina and welcome to your 50-minute ride. Over the course of this ride, we will have 3 climbing blocks and 3 sprinting blocks. Each block is comprised of 2 songs, and we will be starting with climbing block number 1 and alternating between climbing and sprinting there on out. At the end of the ride, we will have a climbing finisher to burn out the legs and the lungs. In each of our climbs, we're going to be going heavy, and in each of our sprints, we're going to be using a light to moderate resistance. I will be coaching resistance on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being extremely light and 10 being extremely heavy. Our aim is to ride on the beat using an appropriate challenging resistance. Take some water breaks as you need, push yourself to your max, and let's warm up. All right, team, let's take 1 shoulder roll to the back, tilt from the hip, and brace the core. Finding a medium pace, 87 RPM. Resistance of 3, so we have control of the bike. Starting the ride with perfect posture. First up in our warm-up is our first 30-second acceleration, the first of 2. So turn to a resistance of 4 and get ready to speed it up to 125. Hands wide. Bringing energy into the heart. Bracing the core. That's it. And start to slow. Bring the hands back into position 1 and find an 87 RPM. This is what we call a medium pace. And if you ever get lost in the ride, come right back here. Looking forward to the journey ahead. So to conclude the warm-up, we have 1 more 30-second seated acceleration. We're going to put on a racing gear. Resistance of 5, and we're going to speed it up. Let's go. 125. Bringing energy into the legs. 15 more seconds. Getting ready for the ride ahead. For all those climbs and all those sprints. And slow. Seated recovery. Bring the hands back. Keep the resistance of 5. Up next, we have our first climbing block. 2 climbs. All right. So in this first track, I want you to put on a resistance of 7, slowing to 60 RPM. The warm-up is now over. We're moving into our first climbing track. Throughout this track, we have 2 standing climbs, 1 30 seconds and 1 45. So let's take a few turns and bring the beat to 60 RPM. In just a moment, we have our first 30-second stand climb. I want you to make it heavy. Resistance of 8. Moderate to heavy. On the heavier side. Add it on and stand. Moving side to side. Butt is back. Hands to the edges of the handlebars. Core braced. Option. Reach down, add. That's it. 4, 3, 2, roll. Take a seat, slight reduction in the gear. bringing it to a 6. Seated build. In the next effort, we are going to do another 30-second stand climb. And at the end, we're going to tack on 15 seconds in the saddle. Start to add.
Purchase your tracks today.
Butt pushes back. Hands want to reach wide. Throw on that 8. And let's bring it up. 3, 2, 1. When you hear climb, you should think slow and heavy. Reach down and turn. Nice and slow. Already burns. Hands wide, butt back. 15 seconds in the saddle. This is the first of many surprise burns to come. Staying on the beat. When we climb in the saddle, hips are back. Chest is up. Hold. Reduce the gear to a 6. Up next, we have a 3-minute endurance climbing track. And we start right away. Stay on 60 RPM, adding a gear to a 7. We're gonna go through all of the climbing positions in this track. Starting with the stand climb, throw that 8 back on and take it up. Traditional climb, 30 seconds. We've been here before, nothing new. Next up, we have a 30-second pull-back climb. In a pull-back climb, our hips shift back over the saddle. Our chest stays up, and our hands stay to the edges of the handlebars. Are you ready? Pull-back climb. Hips back. Bracing the core, using more core and more glutes in this position. 15 more seconds. Try to eliminate the bouncing. Who's ready to give me a turn? Add gear, stand climb. Shifting the weight further forward. Back where we started. Oh, I forgot to mention, this endurance climb is all up here, out of the saddle. Getting a feel for the standing climbs. All right, next up, stand attack. Shift the hands back, drive the knees up. It's like a high knee run. Using the core to drive this movement. Pushing through the quads, pulling through the hamstrings. In an attack, we primarily recruit our quadriceps, these muscles. Front of the leg. All right, to bring us home, back to a traditional climb. 60 seconds here. Living and loving our 50 minutes together. Reach down, give me a gear. We're in it together. In the next few climbing blocks, we're going to be using some of the positions we learned in this track. Hold on to it. Stay with me. Heart is pumping. Sweat is dripping. and take a seat. Reduce the gear down to a 3 out of 10. We have our first sprinting block. Number 1, find an 87 RPM, resistance of 3. In this track, we have 2 30-second seated sprints. The first one is in 15 seconds. We're gonna speed up to 128. Put on a resistance of 4 or 5. Reach the hands wide, hips forward, and pick it up. Going for distance in our sprints. Changing up the training stimulus every 2 tracks. Stay on the beat. If you're slightly slower than the beat, try taking some gear off. If you're not quite at the beat, but if you're spinning out of control, add a gear. And hold. 87, hands back. Keeping the resistance. Getting into the zone. Short little bridge. We got another 30-second sprint up ahead. Not too much recovery. We don't need too much recovery. Put the gear back on if you dropped it. Hands wide, 30 seconds. Visualize the wind in your hair, the wind on your face as you sprint by those mountains on your favorite road. Four, 3, 2, slow. Slow it right down. Grab some water, air if you need. Our second sprinting track in this block. We're adding 15 seconds. We have 2 45-second sprints in this track. Find a 70 RPM. 1, 2, 1, 2.
And dive into
on the beats this entire track. We're going to be getting up out of the saddle in this track. And over the next 3 tracks, we're going to be using this cadence. Add it on, bring it up. 1, 2, 1, 2. Resistance of 6. Staying on 70 RPMs. 30 seconds up, 15 seconds down. Take a seat. I call each and every interval an effort because that's what I expect of you. In these sprints, we're using a heavier resistance to keep the heart rate up and challenge different muscle fibers of the body. Hold. Reduce the gear, stay on the pace. 70 RPM.
Don't look behind your
Let the heart rate settle. The fitter we get, the sooner our heart rate will cool after an effort.
Where love's the only side. So take my hand, join the army of
This time around, we're gonna do it again. This time, we're getting rid of the seated sprint. We're doing the whole effort out of the saddle. How does that sound? Put on a 5, maybe a 6. And get ready. Position 2, up. That's it, team! Chasing those training adaptations. If you want it, put on a 7. Stay with me. Sweat dripping. I can barely speak. Getting fitter. Slow down. And take a seat. Reduce the gear. Take some time for yourself. Shoulders back and down. Climbing block number 2 up next. Just like I said in the last track, keeping a 70 RPM. We're having the same cadence, but this time we're going to change the gear to change the field into a climb. 2 efforts, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, both of which are seated climbs. 70 RPM, resistance 8. We got 15 seconds until we go there. Start to take a turn. 6, 7, 8. Hands wide, 30 seconds. You can't miss that beat. 1, 2, 1, 2. Butt back, chest up, add gear. Turn it up. And hold. Reduce the gear to a 5. Stay on the beat. I love training with a moderate RPM because it can be used in so many different ways. Lighter gear or heavier in this case. In this next block, 45 seconds instead of 30. Nothing like a climb to a powerful beat. Start to put it back on. 8, maybe 9 out of 10. Hands wide, let's get it! This beat screams steep and heavy. Reach down, you know what to do, add. Keeping the chest up to take in our oxygen. Reach down, add. Don't get mad. Little surprise for you. Reduce the gear. Bring it down to a 5. When I say go, we're sprinting. 30 seconds. Reduce it. Hands wide. Let's go. Speed it up. 125 or faster. Taking off the edge. Sprinting down. Come on. Hold. All right, team. Second climb. We got attacks and seated climbs. 2 efforts. 145, 160 seconds. Same cadence. 70 RPM. Using this attack position to target the quads. Get ready for it. Resistance 7. Slightly lighter than the last climb. Slightly longer effort. A gear that slows you to the beat. Push and pull. Everything from the hips up is still. Hold the resistance. Sit back. Seated climb. Brace in the core. Push through the heels to target the glutes. That's it. Now is the time to show up. 4, 3, 2. Reduce gear. Try not to slow. Final track on 70 RPM. Short recovery. Up ahead. 60-second effort. We're adding 15 seconds to the end of the first effort. Take a turn. Put on a 7. Let's stand attack, team. Bring it up. Down. I know it's not easy, but we're doing it together. Take a seat, butt back. When we sit down, it gets heavier without even having to touch the resistance. $45 down, 15 to go. Let's show up for ourselves so that we can show up for those who are important to us. And slow. All right, reduce gear. Back in to our sprints. Block 2. Some standing and seated sprints. 87 RPM, resistance 3. Are you ready? Hands wide. Speeding it up to 128 for 15 seconds on a resistance of 5. Add a gear and take a stand. In the standing sprints, we're aiming for 100. Get ready to take a seat. Slight reduction and bring it back up to 128. One more change, bring it up. Leaving our excuses behind us. Roll. And when you're ready, bring it to 64. Up out of the saddle. We're gonna flip it. This block, we're gonna start seated. 15-second seated climb, 15 seconds standing, and then we repeat. Start to speed it up. Gear 5, take a seat. Let's get it. Put on a 6, up and out. Keeping the hands close to us. Chasing 100. Bring it down and back. Our goal is uncomfortable. Are you there? If not, out of gear. 15 seconds to get there. Push through. And hold. Take a seat. Reduce. 87 RPM. Resistance 3. Two 45-second seated efforts. I want you guys to turn off your mind in this one and focus on the speed. Find a 70 RPM, resistance of 4. These are what I like to call breakaway sprints, meaning I'm going to give you a target RPM, 125. Option A, hit the beat. Option 2, above the beat. We break away. Add the gear, 5, and sprint, 45. Breaking away. We have control of the legs. We take control of the bike. We do that with the proper gear and speed. 15 more. Whether you're on 125 or above, your best efforts. And slow. Push all the way up. Shoulder roll to the back. Give me 2 more. Catch your breath. Tilt from the hip. 70 RPM. Resistance, 4 or 5. We're doing it again.
It's strange, you've changed, I can't recognize you
45-second breakaway.
anymore.
This round,
Choose our
I
paths,
challenge you
heads or tails, for the
to
sake
beat
of
your last
you
effort.
just tell me
Whether that
what
is
to
a few RPMs faster or slightly heavier with the same RPM. Put it on, reach it wide, and let's go! Breaking boundaries, breaking barriers, breaking away. Pick it up. Light in the arms, all in the legs. Slow. 30 seconds for you. Our next track consists of 3 60-second climbing efforts, alternating between seated, and standing climbs. Every 15 seconds, we switch and we start right away. Climbing block 3. All right, team. 60 RPM in the legs. Resistance 7. I don't want to waste any time in this track. 3 identical blocks. We know what's up ahead. Put on an 8. Make a change that's worth your while. Reach the hands wide and climb. 15 seconds in the seat. Every time we stand, we add a gear. So let's do it. Bring it up. Every time we sit, we hold the gear and brace the core. So let's get it. Now on a 9. Take a turn, take it up. Getting stronger, getting fitter, getting powerful. Hold, roll it out. Catch your breath. Flush out the legs. Take a seat, reduce the gear ever so slightly. 15 seconds until we repeat. Put on an 8 or a 9. Up to you. Make it heavy, hands wide. Pushing the hips back. Effort 2. Let's increase the intensity. Bigger turn to take it up. Covered in sweat. Don't touch the gear and take a seat. One more time. Back up. Add if you can. Becoming the best version of yourself. Putting in the work and making it count. Roll. 15 for you. Slight reduction in the gear. Take a seat. Roll on 60. One more chance at it. 60 seconds up ahead. You and me. Feel the intensity. Turn it up. Push and pull. Bring it up. Did you add? Option add one more and sit. Next up, the efforts are shorter. We got heavy 4-count jumps. Don't need to think about it now, but keep it in the back of your head. The next track's gonna pass with a blink of an eye. Slow. Reduce. All right. Short and heavy 4-count jumps. Turn it up to a 10. I rarely ever get you to be on a 10. Bring it up. 2, sit. 4, 3, 2, up. Heavy, 58 RPM. Sit. Make it count. If you can hit the beat, take a turn. Up. 30 seconds here. Sit. Don't even think about it. This is a bonus little burn in the middle. Up. Sit. Reduce gear to a 7. Seated builds. Only one more effort. I told you, this one goes fast. Option is to stand and accelerate with a gear 10. So take a few turns and bring it up 70 RPM if you can. Take a seat. 4, 3, 2, up, accelerate. Sit down. Heavy gear with those accelerations means heart rate. Sit. Easy way to get fit fast. Bring it up. And sit. Hold. All right, team. Big reduction in the gear. Up next, we got seated sprints. Block number 3. 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off. Speeding up to 125 RPM. Right now, we're on 87. 15 more seconds. We're gonna be going up out of the saddle and staying seated. So put on the gear and speed it up. Slow. Back to 87. 4, 3, 2, speed. Effort 2. Getting right on the beats. Slow. So the goal here is to keep a medium pace, not Nice and short. Straight to it. And slow. Challenge in this next effort. How quick can you get on the beats? 3, 2, get up. It's always the hard part that creates the value. Slow. Let's do the next one up, out of the saddle, out of gear, and let's make it happen. 3, 2, 1, 15. Aiming for 100. Take a seat. 87. Up and out. Again. 15. Take it up. The onus is on you to push in each effort. Hold. I can coach you through it. I can guide you, but at the end of the day, it's all up to you to put in the effort. Bring it up. And take a seat. Love this one. One more. Take it up. Hold on to it. 4, 3, 2, hold. All right. Reduce the gear to a 3. More traditional sprints. We got 2 efforts, 45 seconds and 75 seconds. Find an RPM of 87, medium pace. Put on a resistance of 5, 45 seconds, 125. Let's see it. Firing up the legs. Dip the toes. "15 more seconds. Hey, this is the final sprinting track. Pause. All right, out of gear, slow to 62. And when you're ready, hop up out of the saddle. Nice and slow. Next up, you heard me correctly the first time. 75-second sprint. It's gonna feel uncomfortable, but this is our final sprint of the class. Speed it up, take a seat, reduce the gear. Come on, team, you and me. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Sticking to 125. Imagine I'm behind you on my bike and I'm chasing you. I'm getting really close. As long as you keep the speed, as long as you keep up the effort, I'm not gonna catch you. Aero race, hands inside, speed it up. Last efforts, best efforts. And slow. That was absolutely amazing. Reduce the gear, take some water. Up next, we have our ultimate climbing finisher. All right, team. Bring the resistance to a 6. 62 RPM. In this final climbing finisher, we have 4 efforts, alternating between 30 and 45-second efforts, all of which are standing climbs. So put on a resistance of 8 and get ready to take it up for 362. Think about form. Hands to the ends. Butt is back. Core braced. Ready? Out of gear. Number 9. 4, 3, 2, slow. Reduce the gear to a 6. And when you're ready, find the beat. Drastic reduction in the gear. This block, we got 15 extra seconds. 3 gear changes. 1 before the efforts. 2 during the efforts. And I want you to make them count. So, resistance change number 1. Put on an 8 stand climb. It just got a bit heavier. Reach down. Number 2. Now we're on a 9. Final gear change of the effort. Gear 10, add a gear, make a change. Up the mountain. 50 minutes is a long time, and we're nearing the end. So close. Hold. Take a seat. Reduce the gear to a 6. Halfway through this climbing finisher.
Don't go chasing miracles, no. That's not how
all right.
story goes.
Time to reset.
Be my hero.
We're doing it all again. 30 seconds. And then 45. What can you do to make these efforts a little bit better? Put on an 8. Get ready. 30 on the clock. 4, 3, 2, up. Challenges like these are what make life interesting. Add. Overcoming these challenges are what makes life meaningful. 4, 3, 2, slow. Down to a 6. Final effort. Find the beat. Right, left. I want you to think about what it's going to feel like at the other side of this effort. If you put in your max intensity, gear number 8, you know what it feels like. 3, 2, 1. What better place than right here on your bike? And what better time than the here and now? Add. Every time we add, we want to slow, but that's when you gotta put up a fight. final gear change. Final 15. Option. Speed it up. That's right. This wasn't even in my notes, but I'm feeling it. And this 50-minute insane class up on top. 4, 3, 2, hold. Reduce the gear all the way down to a 3. Catch your breath. And once your heart rate has cooled and your breathing is regulated, grab some water. All right, team. We got a few minutes to recover. Reflect on the ride and all that effort we just put in. So find a resistance of 2 and an 87 RPM. Ending the way we started, on a medium pace. It's a great time to wipe away any sweat. We're gonna do 2 accelerations with the aim of lowering the heart rates and taking the burn out of the legs. So take the hands wide and get ready to accelerate. Let's go. Bringing it up to 100. A feel-good pace. Nice and controlled in the legs. Hopefully you got a smile on. Hopefully you're covered in sweat as I am. And slow it down. Push on up. Shoulder rolls to the back. Give me 3. Interlace the fingers. Let's bring them up to the sky. Palms face up and drop the shoulders down. Grab onto the opposite wrist. Pull it over to the opposite side. And switch. Focus on your breathing. Take control of it. And release. Next stretch to one side. And switch. What an amazing accomplishment. Take it down. One last acceleration, hands wide. 100 RPM. A nice celebratory effort. If you enjoyed the ride, be sure to check out all the past rides and to subscribe to the channel and give this a like to never miss any future rides together. Start to slow. Hands back to position 1. Unclip, uncage. And we're gonna do some stretching right beside our bike. All right, team, when you're ready, grab onto your foot or ankle, knees together, hips forward for a quad stretch. Taking some time to lengthen our climbing muscles. And switch sides. Using the bike for balance. Chest is up. For a deeper stretch, try pushing the hips forward. Take that ankle over your opposite knee for a glute stretch. Sink the hips back and keep the chest up. Flex your toe to protect your knee. And switch sides. Opposite ankle over opposite knee. Ensuring the back is straight into the floor for a hamstring stretch. Pulling the hips back and leaning from the hips. Change sides. Let me know in the comments down below any ride suggestions. Let's take our feet hip width apart, hands on our handlebars, shift the weight back, stretching the upper body and lower back. Coming up onto our tippy toes, eyes up to the sky, pushing away from the bike, and lowering down back onto our feet. Take one deep breath in, reach up to the sky, and exhale. Thank you so much for dedicating this time to your fitness and choosing me as your guide. My name is Alina. Be sure to let me know how it went in the comments, and I will see you in the next ride.